gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
Just ahead on American Sunrise, today is the day former special counsel Jack Smith set to testify publicly before the House Judiciary Committee. What can we expect? We're going to have coverage throughout this show. Plus, no force needed. President Trump says military action isn't even necessary for the U.S. to acquire Greenland, and a framework deal is in place. What will that look like? We're going to have the latest on that. Also later, Minnesota mayhem. Top Democrat lawmakers in the state are facing subpoenas for alleged law enforcement interference. Will they face accountability? That's always the question. We have those stories, so much more. American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, Patriots out there. I'm Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in Emily Finn, who is in for David Brody today. Also, Terrence Bates. He's in our Denver newsroom, trying to stay warm. Good morning, T. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. Yes, Terrence, we are both here in West Palm Beach and hoping that you are staying warm, sending you some heat from us.
Thank you very much, ladies. I appreciate it. Good morning and good to see both of you. I understand it's fairly rainy, though, where you guys are in the West Palm Beach. Is that right?
It's not the most beautiful of days. Let's just put it that way.
We've had a stretch here, Gina, of a couple days that the weather hasn't been the best. I think we're due for some better weather.
A little bit of sunshine coming our way soon.
That's right.
We don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm sending warmer thoughts and drier thoughts to you guys. Also, in terms of news this morning, guys, one of the big stories that happened while most of us were asleep, it is now official that President Trump, not only the commander-in-chief, he is now also the commander-in-peace. Just a couple of hours ago, 47 and about a dozen fellow heads of state signed a charter officially creating a board of peace to oversee the ongoing ceasefire in Gaza. It is President Trump's brainchild, plus he's the chairman of the board.
This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they came, they said, you be the chairman. And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people and incredible young people that are leading it from within. It's running beautifully, started already. And every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it.
So, Dr. Gina, a major victory for President Trump as this board of peace is now up and running. However, some of those European countries, I believe, raining on the president's parade a little bit, at least at the moment. I'm thinking of the Frances, the Germanys, even countries like the UK. They have not signed on to this board of peace, which has me scratching my head and might actually stimulate some hair follicles for me.
Well, Terrence, put on your ascot, eat your caviar and champagne, because I have a feeling things will change in France if some people don't fall in line here. You know, here's the thing. President Trump has been such a leader on this and wanted this to come together. And his idea really is to sort of say, you know, look, the UN was never legitimate, never really accomplished anything. I want a board that actually is a working board that actually makes things happen around the world. And it'll be interesting because nobody's ever done anything like this. This is groundbreaking, to be sure, Emily. And but it's not going to go without a lot of criticism, not just from those on the left, but from some on the right who think, they don't know about this.
It seems like everything President Trump does is met with a lot of criticism, Gina. But who doesn't decide to get on board with a peace A board of peace? I mean, come on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to pray for him, Dr. Gina, which leads us to our Bible verse.
Absolutely. Okay, Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. One that hopefully we all have memorized. That's one of the first ones I try to teach my kids. Former special counsel Jack Smith set to testify publicly today before the House Judiciary Committee about his investigations that led to 2 federal indictments of President Trump. Lawmakers say the hearing is part of their oversight review of the Justice Department and is handling high-profile cases. Smith previously defended his work, saying the decision to file charges was his based on evidence presented to grand juries. Now, for more, let's bring in Illinois Congresswoman, one of my personal favorites, Mary Miller. Congresswoman, what do you expect to hear from the Jack Smith trial today?
Well, it'll be super interesting. This is one of the most blatant abuses of power in modern history. Jack Smith is a criminal. He should be disbarred and put behind bars. And I actually have a scripture verse for him out of Numbers. It says, "Be sure your sin will find you out."
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Also, Congresswoman, President Trump said that military force to take Greenland is off the table. Want to take a look at what he had to say about that.
The military's not on the table. I don't think it'll be necessary. I really don't. Okay. I think people are going to use better judgment. Going to use their best judgment, and I don't think that will not be necessary.
The president also posted this on Truth Social regarding the deal. He says, quote, "Based upon a very productive meeting that I have had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution will be a great one for the United States and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Congressman, what is the mood in Congress on all of this?
Well, we're happy about it. We are pleased to have such a strong leader who understands that the first role of government is to protect the people. And getting control of Greenland is essential for shipping, for national security, to hold Russia and China at bay. It's a geopolitical necessity.
Congresswoman, I know we're jumping all around, but one of the most immediate challenges facing you and your colleagues there on Capitol Hill is funding the government. We're hearing that there's a massive new funding package that's being worked on. You guys could vote on it as soon as the end of this week or early next week. Are you expecting another government shutdown, or are you expecting this funding package ultimately to pass? And where do you stand on it? What is your vote at this moment?
I do expect it to pass. I'm very happy that we're taking steps to restore regular order and pass 12 appropriations bills. We are up to a deadline. I believe it will pass. There are amendments. There are some things in there that aren't great, but it is a big, bold step in the right direction, and I do support it.
And if I may just follow up very quickly, you mentioned those 12 appropriation bills and getting back to regular working order. That has seemed to be a challenge. It's my understanding that the proposal on the table now would fund the government through September. But when are we going to get to the point where we say, OK, we're either going to fund everything and do everything bill by bill, or we're just going to throw the baby out with the bathwater? At some point in time, things have got to change, because it has become almost like a reflex just to pass another short-term spending bill to keep the government open. But we're still not doing the job that Congress is constitutionally bound to do. Am I off base there?
No, you aren't. But politics is a numbers game, and we don't have the numbers to do a lot of things. And I think the American people need to look at who's representing them. And if they aren't on board with the America Great, America First agenda, we need to elect different people. But we really don't have the votes in the Senate to get a lot of things passed that we want to get done. And we have a 1-vote majority now in the House. And we have frauds on our side. I can't tell your listeners, I can't emphasize enough how important primary elections are. It's an opportunity to fire the frauds. We have them on our side, too.
100%. And I'm so glad to hear you say that, because a lot of Republicans want to kind of gloss over that tidbit that really makes more of a difference. You mentioned how important it is to vote in primaries. I'm just going to allow you to elaborate on that because we have a lot of those coming up around the country. And it does make a huge difference. People think, oh, the general's the important election. But very few people statistically vote in primaries. And it's actually more critical in some ways than the general election. Explain that to us, Congresswoman.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the great work you're doing to give us alternative information sources to legacy media, because I believe a lot of the bad things that have happened in our country is because we don't have accurate media or reporting. But in light of the elections, people need to find out there's places like Heritage and different places that score our votes, and they have scores on our elected officials. And I think a lot of people would be shocked to find out that their Republican that plays part of being a conservative has a D or F voting record. And I know I ran against a Republican that had that kind of record. I beat him because I ran on the record. I beat him in the primary. And we do need to get people out to the polls. We need to hold the majority in Congress. It'll very essential that we rally our families, our churches, our neighbors, our coworkers to get out and vote. Is so important.
Absolutely. Well, Congresswoman Mary Miller, I love being in your district, had the opportunity to go there and hang out with you a little bit, and that was really great. And so tell all the good folks there in your home district hello, and God bless you for the work you're doing. Thanks for being a constant that we can count on there.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Good to
coming up,
see you. Thanks for being here.
we're going to check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with Terrence Bates. Also later, President Trump's Board of Peace. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has joined the group. How successful will they be? We have expert analysis just ahead here on American Sunrise.
Joining us is Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company with advice for dealing with seasonal colds and flu. Doctor?
Cold and flu season is here, and every year you or a loved one gets sick. Your doctor can't see you. Waiting in a crowded urgent care is brutal. This is a particularly bad cold and flu season, and it's why doctors suggest every family needs an emergency medical kit. Your medical emergency kit is filled with essential prescriptions. It includes antibiotics like generic Z-Pak to get well faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs, and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, Doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. For 50 years, I've watched Washington betray the American people with dishonest money. Nixon's closure of the gold window made endless debt and war inevitable. Today, our middle class, our currency, and our economy are dying in real time. In my new book, Dispatches to Future Generations, I reveal how we got here, plus the solution, gold. And that's why I'm partnering with Birch Gold Group to give you a free copy of my book along with their free info kit on gold. Click below to get both right now. Inside the info kit, you'll learn how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold. So click below to claim your free copy of my Dispatches to Future Generations and Birch Gold's info kit today.
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Emily Finn. Coming up, President Trump convened the first Board of Peace meeting in Davos, Switzerland. Several key countries have signed on to the efforts, but how successful could this group be? We have all of those developments throughout the show. First, Terrence Bates is standing by with the latest headlines from the Real America's Voice newsroom, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
President Trump is wrapping up his trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. While you were sleeping, he participated in the charter announcement and signing for the Board of Peace, which is meant to oversee the ceasefire and the long-term peace aspirations for Gaza. While President Trump is the chairman of the board, the initial board members include the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, Qatar, Turkey, Morocco, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan are also on the list, including Paraguay, Bahrain, Hungary, Kosovo, and Azerbaijan. Conspicuously, however, absent from the signing today were U.S. allies like France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Without losing focus on what's before us now, this is what's possible for other places and other conflicts that seem impossible to solve right now. So I want to, on behalf of the United States, on behalf of the team that worked so hard on this, thank every single one of the leaders that are here today and all the countries that have committed to joining, and many others who are going to join. You know, others either are not in town today or they have to go through some procedure internally in their own country because of constitutional limitations, but others will join. Many want to be a part of this effort because it is going to be a successful effort.
French President Emmanuel Macron has been one of the most vocal opponents of the Board of Peace. So far, he's been a holdout, but President Trump is threatening to slap France with a 200% tariff on wine and champagne if Macron doesn't fall in line. We'll, of course, keep you updated. Former President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary are one major step closer to being held in contempt of Congress. Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee voted to advance contempt resolutions against both of them for ignoring a subpoena to be deposed as part of the committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The panel voted 34-8 to hold Bill Clinton in contempt and 28-15 to hold Hillary accountable for not showing up. Several Democrats joined Republicans to move the resolutions forward. A vote on the full House floor is reportedly expected to happen as soon as the first week in February. Meantime, attorneys for the Clintons made a last-minute attempt over the weekend to avoid the contempt hearing, offering an interview only with the former president at his office in New York. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer rejected that plan. The busy week for James Comer and his colleagues on the House Oversight Committee continues today as former Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith is set to testify. Smith is expected to offer insight and perspective into the various investigations he led related to President Trump. The former special counsel indicted Mr. Trump twice, once for allegedly keeping classified documents and a second time for allegedly trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. The cases were dropped once 45 returned to the White House as 47. The DOJ has a policy that prevents prosecution of a sitting president. Today's testimony, by the way, is scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Stay tuned to Real America's Voice and our various social media platforms to hear what Jack Smith has to say. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get a quick check of your forecast with Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony. We also are going to put that QR code up there at the bottom of your screen. Scan that. Join our friends over at Weather Nation. Cold, cold, cold. That's the weather story of the day. Back to me, Tracy. Good morning.
Yeah, definitely. Anywhere really east of the Rockies is going to feel temperatures a good 10 to 30 degrees below average and dangerous wind chills, and not just for a night or two, but really through the weekend. Now, this cold air is also going to be paired with some moisture, and that is causing widespread winter concerns. We have a winter storm watch that stretches from areas of Arizona all the way to New York City in the Northeast. So we're talking over 30 states being impacted by this storm system because the cold air, that's one piece to the puzzle, but we're also going to have the Gulf moisture and some moisture from the Pacific. This is some subtropical moisture that's kind of combining right across the south central plains over the course of the next couple of days, and that's what's going to start the chance for a major ice storm across the south. So all of these impacts start throughout the day tomorrow. Notice as that cool air starts to meet the moisture, areas like Lubbock will have some freezing rain and could have some sleet, but we're talking heavy snow then on the north side. But look at all of this ice. When you see that pink there on the forecast, that's indicating freezing rain. So think of a nice ice glaze over everything, and this is going to be ongoing throughout the entire weekend. So don't let up on Saturday when you get a little break in the moisture, because there's more coming back on Sunday. So this is going to be a long duration, high impact system, and snowfall totals could be over 6 inches widespread from Texas all the way to the Northeast. So Terrence, that is going to be the big story, and it's all going to start tomorrow morning.
All right, well, you've helped me make weekend plans then. Those weekend plans will exclusively be hibernation and staying indoors. Tracy, we appreciate it. We'll check in with you next hour for our hometown forecast. Good to see you.
Me too.
All right. All right, folks, up next, President Trump says the military is not on the table when it comes to taking Greenland. So what will negotiations entail moving forward? We'll discuss. First, though, a look at this day in history. It was on this date in 1998 that Theodore Ted Kaczynski, infamously known as the Unabomber, pleaded guilty in a Sacramento, California courtroom. He admitted to a 17-year string of mail bomb attacks that killed 3 people and injured more than 20 others across the country. In exchange for the guilty plea, Kaczynski avoided the death penalty and was sentenced to life in prison without parole, closing one of the most notorious and infamous domestic terror cases in U.S. history. More American Sunrise coming your way in a couple of minutes.
It's just like our new house. I hope you have an American Home Shield warranty. Leaky toilet? Fixed. Oven beyond repair? If AHS can't fix your covered item, then replace it, no matter its age. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can hack your information without you even knowing. Introducing SlimMint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash protected. SlimMint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from stealing your info. It's ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. With the auto-locking SlimMint, your cards and money stay securely in place. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to fit your additional cards and cash. Call or click now and get SlimMint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get SlimMint at this low price. There's a strict limit of 3 SlimMint wallets while supplies last. Don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-608-4172. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-4172 now.
President Trump delivered on his promises, but we can't get complacent. None of our America First agenda will be secure until we build the Red Wall. Turning Point PAC is building the Red Wall in Arizona, Nevada, and New Hampshire, key battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. We're funding door knockers who will win the next elections in 2026, 2028, and beyond. Today, we're asking for your immediate support. Donate at tprab.com or scan the QR code now to fund our field operations.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Emily Finn. President Trump doubled down on the U.S. need for Greenland for national security concerns, but said he won't use force to get it. Take a listen.
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland, where we already had it as a trustee, but respectfully returned it back to Denmark not long ago after we defeated the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II. We gave it back to them.
President Trump also posted this on Truth Social regarding the deal. He said, quote, based upon a very productive meeting that I have had with the Secretary General of NATO, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Let's now bring in Senior Fellow for the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, retired Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. How do you see the Greenland situation playing out?
Well, thank you for having me. I think that the president's done a maximum pressure campaign on Denmark and other European countries to try to get an improved investment in their Arctic security defense forces. I think his rhetoric was probably a little bit over the top in the sense of he definitely left open the idea that we would use force against a treaty ally for about 3 weeks. That was probably unnecessary. On the other hand, there is value in Greenland to our national security. And so the idea that the Danish and other European partners will maximize their investment in Arctic defense and in countering Russian aggression in the Arctic is an important step in improving our national security. And Greenland does have, he overstates the value to Golden Dome, but it's not zero impact, and the Space Force base there and early warning radar, which we've had for 60 years now, and continuing to maintain that and modernize it will have a positive impact on our ability to detect Russian and any apparent Russian inbound missiles or aircraft.
Also, President Trump spoke at the first Board of Peace meeting in Davos, and that was this morning, where President Trump spoke at the first Board of Peace meeting there in Davos. Take a look at this.
This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they came. They said, "You be the chairman." And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people and incredible young people that are leading it from within. It's running beautifully, started already, and every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it.
Several key countries like Israel have agreed to join the Board of Peace. How successful do you see this effort becoming?
So, I think that in terms of approaching the security situation in Gaza, it'll be very effective. In terms of something that might somehow displace the United Nations as a leading area to do it, I think it'll be less so because we won't get all the countries in there. But it's imperative that these countries support Israel in the recovery of the security situation and the recovery economically and humanitarian mission-wise in Gaza. And these countries need to step up. They need to give their billion-dollar donations. And then the United States will work closely with some key partners to ensure that the money is properly funneled into the recovery of Gaza. Gaza should not be a U.S.-only problem or an Israeli-U.S. problem. It should be a regional solution paid for by regional partners.
Absolutely. Admiral, I'd like to get back to Greenland just very quickly. Let's just assume that negotiations do go through and the United States ultimately is in control of Greenland. We occupy it, whatever word you'd like to use. How do you see that ultimately looking? And I asked you that question because President Trump has said that it's got to be pretty much outright ownership, that it can't be a long-term lease because under a lease, he wouldn't be allowed or be able to take some of the security security measures that he is targeting Greenland for in the first place?
So I do think there's going to be some consternation and disappointment in the end game. I don't think Denmark's going to give up its ultimate sovereignty of Greenland. I think the United States we already have great access to Greenland. If we want to build a base there, there's ease. But it might be that there's an increased Danish contribution to any base building effort, where they, shoulder more of the costs under some kind of long-term lease. I don't think we'll take sovereignty. And remember, Denmark's been a great ally on this. They contributed to Afghanistan and Iraq, had more casualties per capita than us in those conflicts. And 40 years ago, we accidentally dropped 4 nuclear weapons on Greenland and never did recover one of them. And they've allowed us to come back and fly and operate. That's a good ally. And so I think the president should take the win where there's an increased there's a recognition that Denmark needed to do more, that Europe needed to do more, and the president forced them into doing it.
Finally, President Trump is reportedly pressing his top aides for what he's calling a decisive military option against Iran. The Wall Street Journal reports the U.S. is moving additional forces into the Middle East, including F-15E fighters, air defense systems, and the aircraft carrier USS Lincoln. Officials say no strikes have been ordered yet, but Tehran is warning of retaliation if the U.S. does indeed take military action. What do you make of all of this?
So I think that this is decisive option short of U.S. forces on the ground in Iran. So what we're talking about is decisive air and maritime action to destroy the remnants of the Iranian Navy and to hit their missile firing and missile production sites in Iran, and potentially hit the security sites associated with the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, who are the ones suppressing the protesters. That would be an extensive, weeks-long air campaign executed, as you mentioned, by the Carrier Strike Group. But that's not enough. I commanded one of those. I love them, but we're going to need the B-2s coming in and continue to deliver weapons. But if you use a combined air and naval campaign over 3 to 4 weeks, you can do a lot of damage to the IRGC. I imagine he's asking for the very high end of that, and then understand what the risks to U.S. forces are doing it. And then the air defense forces to defend our units that are already in the Arabian Peninsula in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, from any kind of counterstrike from Iran as Iran threatened.
Mark Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us today and breaking this all down. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up, the dangers of bottled water. What chemicals are in them and what health issues can they give? We have the developments straight ahead on American Sunrise.
In Mogadishu, Minnesota, you might have heard there's quite a load of money missing, new millionaires.
America's in a fight for her soul. Our freedoms are under attack. Our values are being torn down, and the same corrupt elites who built this mess think they can silence us. The patriots who still believe in this country, not a chance. Here at Real America's Voice, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, a movement that says we will not be silenced.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
The voice of millions of patriots who refuse to kneel to tyranny. This is the movement of fighters, men and women who still believe in God, family, and the American dream. The conservative alternative to AARP.
Real rights, they come from God.
If you're ready to stand up and join the fight, go to amac.us/RAV right now. That's amac.us/RAV, because this isn't just about politics. It's about saving America. Faith, freedom, America first. AMAC and Real America's Voice, united for the Republic.
How many times have you tried to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? What you need is the all-new waterproof Ruby Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away dirt and grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning at 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your Ruby horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. Due to high demand, only 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-944-4512. That's 1-800-944-4512. Or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. So call 1-800-944-4512 now.
That's a live shot there. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I love that state. When it's nice and sunny, it's the prettiest state to drive through. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. Gina. Thanks for joining us. Time now for today's health news. It is sponsored by The Wellness Company. And under the microscope today, the dangers of bottled water. Who knew? New research is raising alarms about what may be hiding in your bottle of water. A report says some samples contain chemicals and microplastics that can build up in the body over time. Experts are warning the biggest risk may come from long-term exposure. So drinking a lot of water out of plastic bottles, especially for children and for pregnant women. They say heat, so sitting in your car, sitting in your trunk, right? And sunlight, leaving them outside, sitting in the cooler, that kind of thing. These things can cause the plastic bottles to break down faster. Health officials recommend checking your local tap water quality reports and using a certified home filter if you want to cut down on possible contaminants. I know we're drinking these days out of a lot of glass bottles, which now have become available in a lot of places. So that's good. And also, I've noticed a lot of water being served now in paper. And I just have to wonder, this breaking down of the plastic, is this because they had to make everything so biodegradable? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. I want to know the answer. But, you know, as long as they feel good about what they aren't doing for the environment, if the rest of us all are ingesting microplastics and getting cancer, I guess that's not a concern of the bureaucrats. Every workout, injury, or surgery creates a microscopic good and some bad inside the body. Muscle inflammation and tissue breakdown can peak within 72 hours after physical stress, which is why recovery matters as much as training. Meet Regenerate from The Wellness Company, your new recovery resource. Regenerate is the first ever oral triple peptide recovery drop. It is designed for full body healing without injections. It works by supporting the body's natural repair process through a proprietary peptide delivery system. At the core is BPC 157, a body protective peptide known for supporting gut lining integrity while helping tendons, ligaments, and soft tissue recover faster. Alongside that, KPV, a powerful anti-inflammatory tripeptide that helps calm excessive inflammation, helps restore your immune balance, and enhance regenerative effects of BPC. Lastly, TB500 supports flexibility, endurance, and tissue repair, promoting healthy blood flow and cellular repair. No needles, you guys, no mess, just clean liquid drops. If you're ready to recover more smartly, go to twc.health/RAV and use promo code RAV. That'll get you 10% off plus free shipping. All right, Terrence.
Terrence here at your service, Dr. Gina. So good to see you. All right, Dr. Gina, let's get over to Minnesota, where Democratic officials have come under fire for not working with immigration officials. In fact, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says there's a moral imperative not to work with ICE officials.
In Minneapolis, we will not cooperate with ICE or any federal agency around immigration enforcement work. We will not. And there's a good reason, by the way, that we won't. And it's not just the moral imperative here. It's also the fact that I want our police officers focusing on safety. I want our police officers arresting perpetrators of violent crime and preventing carjackings from taking place and doing that basic work of 911 response. You know what I don't want our police officers doing? Spending a single minute going after some father who just dropped his kids off at daycare, is about to go work a 12-hour shift, who happens to be from Ecuador.
Let's bring in the mayor of Boca Raton, Florida, and the chairman of the America First Policy Institute's Mayor's Council, Scott Singer. Mayor Singer, good morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's good to have you. So as I just listened to Mayor Frey, the thought came to my mind, well, if that's the position you're taking in opposing law enforcement, doesn't that create an environment in your city for the public to oppose law enforcement, which is a public safety hazard in and of itself?
Yes, and I think what we've seen are very harmful, dangerous comments by that particular mayor. Used an expletive with regard to ICE, doubled down on the comments. We should be praising law enforcement at all levels. We need law enforcement to keep us safe, and federal officers have their job to do. The American people voted to close the porous border, and under President Trump, we've seen border security. So instigating, inflaming more hatred, harm, and danger to our officers doesn't help save in a community. It creates harm.
Though I just did hear on my way to work this morning that Lois Frankel, our congresswoman here, is doing all the same horrible things. It's hard to believe we still have a congresswoman who's so backward in this part of Florida. But Mayor, a law in Florida has recently taken effect. That law is banning cloud seeding and weather modification. But I guess it's only part of it. Explain to us what exactly that does. I know that DeSantis has done something that's really good, but it's not completely done. And I definitely saw some of that smut up in the sky just the other day. So what's going on? What's done? What's not done? What needs to be done?
In terms of the state law, there was a provision that prevented cloud modification, weather modification efforts. There were reports of that in this and other states that was put in. If I can just go back to the prior question, though, I think it's just the bigger threat right now is what we're seeing in a contrast between cities where you have cities cooperating with law enforcement, entering 287G agreements, not declaring that there's an invasion when federal officers come to do their job. And you're seeing the contrast, and you're seeing worse safety numbers across the board. It's very hard for local authorities to focus on safety if they're turning a blind eye to problems caused by people who do not belong in this country.
So how have you been able to balance some of those challenges there in Boca Raton? The reality is you've got a governor who's been ahead of the curve, if you will, or been very aggressive in fighting immigration and has been standing with the president. But how are you able to kind of supplement those efforts locally in your own city there in Boca Raton?
Well, we, like many other cities and many other mayors who are part of the America First Policy Institute Mayor's Council, are cooperating with federal authorities. The federal government has a 287G agreement, which provides for cooperation, funding for local law enforcement, and better training to deal with issues like immigration. And you're seeing much better safety records in those cities. You're not seeing the sort of chaos, harm, and destruction, and unfortunately, significant injuries in places like Minneapolis, where you have outward hostility toward cooperation on simple law enforcement matters. And it's that different approach that I think is drawing a contrast where people are flocking to Florida. Doctor, you mentioned the congresswoman to the area to the north. Hopefully we'll have some new members in Congress soon who understand the importance of a secure border and what it means for national defense and what it means for our economy and so many other things under President Trump's leadership.
This is really about congressional seats, isn't it, Mr. Mayor? Because this is really about numbers for census, Democrat numbers. They can't get Americans to vote for them. They can't get citizens to vote for them. So they want to rearrange the census with bodies, right? So that illegal or otherwise, they don't really care, so that they can keep Democrat seats. Because otherwise, especially in some of the real purple states, they're losing ground every day because they don't have ideas.
Yes, we're seeing people move to Florida. That's why our population counts have grown. And I'm actually, I don't know if you know, Doctor, 2 weeks ago, I filed to run for Congress in Florida's 23rd district.
I thought maybe
and in Congress, I would ensure that we pass the SAVE Act to ensure that we have strong voter ID across the nation. I think it's important to ensure that we're not getting people who don't belong to vote. This whole Minneapolis thing, I was stunned to find out that Minnesota law allows people to vouch for 8 other residents without voter ID. It's a miracle that anyone's able to win an election, any conservative is able to win an election in Minnesota. And I give greater credit to the Republican members who do, despite potential voter fraud, widespread voter fraud. So these are important issues. And getting back to your point, yes, if we don't have good voter ID laws, then you're right for non-citizens to be able to vote, and that creates the cycle that you're talking about.
No doubt. All right. Well, Mayor Scott Singer, right down the road from us here in Palm Beach, in Boca, where my daughter lives. As you know, we run into each other now and then. I hope I see you again soon. Congratulations on your entry into the race, and best of luck for you, Scott Singer.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Right.
Nice to see you.
Coming up, defending anti-ICE protesters, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison says the demonstrators who interrupted a church service were exercising their First Amendment rights. How is America responding? We're going to analyze that next here on American Sunrise.
Donald Trump Jr. here with an urgent message about retirement accounts in America. My father just changed 401ks forever by initiating the process that will allow gold into 401ks. But here's even better news. You don't need to wait for your 401k provider. You can use this strategy today. With a self-directed gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, you can convert your IRA or 401k into an account with all the same tax benefits. But you own something that will be there when you need it. To find out more, click the link below to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group. Inside, they will show you exactly how to diversify your IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Do it now before the rest of America jumps in. Click below for your free info kit.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, and fixing a drain is a pain. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Just remove and replace. In seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy. Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps prevent clogs in your sink, catching hair, food, even jewelry. Made with brass and chrome and a silicone gasket, it creates a watertight seal. Order your Mermaid Drain Magic today for only $19.99 and get a Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of cleaning. But wait, this could be your last chance to get Drain Magic at this low price with free toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3, so order now.
Call 1-800-519-4303 or visit GetDrainMagic.com. So call 1-800-519-4303 or visit GetDrainMagic.com. Order now.
Brother, with liberal judges on the take, there's no fear of justice while they shimmy and they shake the Somali.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. It's time to stay awake, not woke. And today we are discussing Minnesota. The Justice Department says it has subpoenaed Democrat lawmakers in Minnesota, including Governor Tim Walz, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, and Attorney General Keith Ellison. Officials say they are looking to see if they obstructed immigration enforcement. And this all comes after Ellison also defended the anti-ICE protesters who entered a church service in Minnesota. Take a look.
The protest is fundamental to American society. This country started in a protest. And, it's freedom of expression. People have a right to lift up their voices and make their peace. And none of us are immune from the voice of the public. So quite honestly, I think that you got the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and the First Amendment, freedom of expression.
And we want to know what you think. Let us know on YouTube, Rumble, or Getter. Hop on and let your voice be heard. And a quick note, Real America's Music is releasing a new song tonight at midnight called The Somali Waltz. It's now available for pre-download on iTunes. Here's a little preview of what you can expect to see.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and hit pre-save right now.
Dancing to the Somali waltz, and coming soon to a state near you. New name sing to the Somali waltz.
And still to come on American Sunrise, how is the faith community responding to the events in Minnesota? We have a pastor next. Stay with us.
Minnesota, you might have heard there's quite a load of.
Donald Trump Jr. here with an urgent message about retirement accounts in America. My father just changed 401ks forever by initiating the process that will allow gold into 401ks. But here's even better news. You don't need to wait for your 401k provider. You can use this strategy today. With a self-directed gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, you can convert your IRA or 401k into an account with all the same tax benefits, but you own something that will be there when you need it. To find out more, click the link below to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group. Inside, they will show you exactly how to diversify your IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Do it now before the rest of America jumps in. Click below for your free info kit.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, and fixing a drain is a pain. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Just remove and replace. In seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy. Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps prevent clogs in your sink, catching hair, food, even jewelry. Made with brass and chrome and a silicone gasket, it creates a watertight seal. Order your Mermaid Drain Magic today for only $19.99 and get a Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of cleaning. But wait, this could be your last chance to get Drain Magic at this low price with free toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3, so order now.
Call 1-800-519-4303 or visit GetDrainMagic.com. So call 1-800-519-4303 or visit GetDrainMagic.com. Order now.
God bless the USA.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. It's now time for our moment of faith, which is brought to us by Lee Greenwood and the God Bless the USA Bible. In focus today, more on the anti-ICE protesters who stormed a church service in Minnesota. Christian leaders in Minnesota speaking out after an anti-ICE protest disrupted a Sunday church service in St. Paul. Authorities say a group of demonstrators stormed into the church, chanting and interrupting worship for several minutes. You can see it here on camera. The protest was targeting a pastor who's accused of having ties to immigration enforcement. The Justice Department says it is now reviewing the incident as faith leaders are calling it a serious violation of religious freedom. So let's bring in pastor, evangelist, and founder of Revival Today, Jonathan Shuttlesworth, for more on this conversation. Jonathan, always good to see you.
What's up, Terrence? Good to see you.
I'm trying to make it, man. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this because as I first saw this video, which I think now is viral and most people have seen it, it seemed to me that it emboldens people to barge into a sanctuary. Sanctuary, by its name, is a place of peace, should be a place of refuge. But now they've bastardized that. And I can't quite come to terms with it. Help me out.
It's illegal. I want to bring up, how can it be 2026 and you pastor, let alone you pastor in St. Paul, Minnesota, and you don't have any security? You know, that guy should be thankful that he doesn't have any dead congregants. There's been 100, I think, church people killed in the last 20 years in church shootings and 150 injured. I think that's what ChatGPT said. You have to have some type of security that screens who's coming through the door, particularly if you live in like Seattle, Minneapolis. I don't know how you could allow that to happen in 2026.
And the reality is, unfortunately, this sort of thing, and you mentioned the fact that there have been so many church shootings, but it's become mainstreamed, unfortunately. It's become all too commonplace, which in and of itself is frightening.
Yes, you have to have, I would consider it part of my job as a pastor, that you have got to have security in place to protect your congregation. For 20 some people to come into your church, however many it was, 40 some, and assume all of them are unarmed. No one has a knife. No one's going to shoot. No one's going to detonate anything is neglectful. Now, this is illegal. When Keith Ellison said it's part of your First Amendment right to protest, how anybody can have a law degree and be that stupid is beyond me. You do not have a First Amendment right to go on private property and disrupt. But any pastor that's watching, it's not 1930 or 1950. There are people that look for churches to harm people. And if part of your job to keep people safe is to make sure you have a plan in place that you guard, those people should have never made it through the front door of that church.
Even David, who was a shepherd, had a slingshot. That's how I would liken this.
Jesus told the disciples in Luke 22, I think it's verse 36, if you don't have a sword, sell your coat and buy a sword. The Bible doesn't teach to just trust God and hope everything works out. And like you said, the Bible's full of people that responded physically when there was a problem. As a father, you protect your home. As a husband, you protect your home. As a pastor, anything you don't protect, you lose. And I hope people will smarten up. You wish it wasn't part of the job. Nobody gets into being a pastor wanting to run teams like you're in the movie Sicario, but you have to do that now.
It's a sad state of affairs. You have the last word, Jonathan. Talk about the state of affairs of the church today and why it is so important to arm up and why we have to arm up. These, I guess it's a spiritual attack, one could describe it.
Yeah, and Jesus said things would get worse. So it's happened a lot. If this had never happened before, I would leave the pastor alone. But it's been happening now since probably the Columbine shootings. That there are people that are so full of the devil, they have got no problem doing that. I would add, the state of the church is great, because I've also heard people overreact and say, look how terrible America has become. But Minneapolis is not America. Seattle's not America. Churches are booming. There's a revival in the country, and I'm sure that's why the devil was upset.
Amen. We'll have to leave the conversation there. Jonathan, always good to talk to you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Terrence.
All right. We're back with the second hour of American Sunrise after this.
Introducing the limited edition God Bless the USA Bible, inspired by Lee Greenwood's hit song and the most recognized patriotic anthem in America, God Bless the USA. The God Bless the USA large print leather-bound King James Bible also contains America's founding documents, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance, along with a handwritten chorus to Lee Greenwood's song, God Bless the USA. With its large print and slim design, this Bible invites you to explore God's Word anywhere, anytime. The God Bless the USA Bible makes the perfect gift and cherished family heirloom keepsake to pass on to future generations. Designed for an easy reading experience in the trusted King James Version translation, this large print Bible is perfect to take to church, Bible study, work, and for traveling. Order yours today at GodBlessTheUSABible.com.
America's in a fight for her soul. Our freedoms are under attack. Our values are being torn down. And the same corrupt elites who built this mess think they can silence us. The patriots who still believe in this country. Not a chance. Here at Real America's Voice, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, a movement that says we will not be silenced.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
The voice of millions of patriots who refuse to kneel to tyranny. This is the movement of fighters, men and women who still believe in God, family, and the American dream. The conservative alternative to AARP.
Real rights, they come from God.
If you're ready to stand up and join the fight, go to amac.us/RAV right now. That's amac.us/RAV, because this isn't just about politics. It's about saving America. Faith, freedom, America first. AMAC and Real America's Voice, united for the Republic.
Did you know know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
All right, coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, the world is reacting after President Trump laid out his agenda during his speech at the World Economic Forum. This included a comment where 47 ruled out the idea that he would use military force to acquire Greenland. We'll have more reaction in a moment. Plus, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are throwing their support behind Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado following a meeting on Capitol Hill yesterday. We're going to bring you those details a little later in the hour. And also later, where in the world is Kamala Harris and who cares? Wait, no, that wasn't in my prompter. Sorry. Democrats are voicing frustration after the former VP and failed presidential candidate retreats to a multi-million-dollar mansion in Malibu. We'll talk about why some on the left are turning on her. These stories, so much more as the second hour of American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics. President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back to this second hour of American Sunrise. I'm Terrence Bates, coming to you from our Denver newsroom. Let's bring in Dr. Gina and Emily Finn. Emily is in for David Brody this morning. They are both in our Palm Beaches studio. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning to you, Terrence.
Morning.
So look, Dr. Gina, yesterday, you may remember, I unveiled my new glasses. I'm getting older, and unfortunately, FORMER, which is in the prompter, looks like FMR for me. So I realized that I needed a little bit of extra help. But unfortunately, my lights here reflect off the glasses, yes. So I still can't wear them at work just yet. So I will be working on that. But soon I will have extra spectacles so that I don't make a spectacle of myself.
You're going to wear them all the time, you're saying? These are like full-time, not like me where I like put them on, pull them off.
Yeah, no, they're going to be all the time. When you go to the eye doctor and they're like, oh, yeah. That was her response to me. Like, we were going through the different things and she was using the lenses and she says, oh, yeah. So at that point, I was like, okay, it's pretty bad.
So you're going to get the anti-reflective coating on your glasses, which I've had done many, many times. But I never wear glasses on TV. I don't know why. I mean, I wear them on the break to read over my notes and things, but not on TV. I don't know why.
Well, Terrence, I've been wearing glasses ever since I was a little girl. When I was I think in first or second grade, I started and my eyes just continued to get worse and worse. Unfortunately, I don't have as great of bone structure as you, so glasses don't look great on me. I've only been wearing contacts. So if you want to talk about contacts, I can give you some advice.
Yeah, I think I've been wearing contacts since I was like 9. And I've had LASIK surgery 2 or 3 times. I've lost count. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Doesn't always work out so well long term. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, to tell even more of my business, and then I'll move on, the doctor also said I had cataracts and that I needed that kind of surgery, but I rejected it. I was like, I cannot. I was like, I'm too young to have cataracts. No.
Yeah, you really are too young to have cataracts. I didn't know that happened.
We'll be praying for your eyes, Terrence.
Thank you. Thank you. So, can somebody roll the prompter? I can't see a thing. No, just joking. Former President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary are going to face a contempt of Congress vote before the full House of Representatives as soon as next month. On Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee voted to advance contempt resolutions against both of them for ignoring a subpoena to be deposed, as part of the committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Several Democrats joined Republicans, though, to move the resolutions forward. The busy week for James Comer and his colleagues on the House Oversight Committee is set to continue today as former Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith is set to testify before the committee. That's going to happen in less than an hour. Smith will offer insight and perspective into the various investigations that he led related to President Trump. He indicted Mr. Trump twice, once for allegedly keeping classified documents and a second time for allegedly trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And President Trump is wrapping up his trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. While you were sleeping, he participated in the charter announcement for the Board of Peace, which is meant to oversee the ceasefire and the long-term peace aspirations for Gaza. President Trump is the chairman of that board. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get a quick check of your forecast with Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony. Tracy, good morning. I know you've got some hometown forecasts for us.
Yeah, we're going to start you off in Warwick, Rhode Island. So this coming in via Getter. So thanks, Diane, for this hometown. 43 degrees today. You're going to be pretty quiet the next 2 days, high pressure in control. But that high pressure center is going to bring in some Arctic air. So temperatures plummeting before the weekend. And then this winter storm system I've mentioned last hour, it's going to knock on your doorstep. So you're going to expect a good amount of snow as well as we head into next week. So this snowstorm is really going to bring long-standing and widespread impacts. So Dallas, Fort Worth, the Metroplex, this is where we're going to have some of the most significant impacts as we end the week this week. Notice 50 degrees on Friday, but those temperatures are just going to plummet throughout the day on Friday and into the day on Saturday. So Dallas, you are going to drop down into the teens, and those wind chill values are going to be even colder. So you have to keep in mind with this widespread system, we are seeing verbiage from the National Weather Service like high impact, extreme, life-threatening cold. So they're very particular with the words they use, but this storm system is going to impact 2/3 of the country with hefty snow, a lot of ice. Ice is going to be one of the biggest concerns, and then even some rain a little farther down to the south. So Terrence, we're going to continue to watch this throughout the day today as those models continue to update and unfold as we get closer. But tomorrow, that's when those impacts and that storm system will really start to move in.
All right, I'm feeling faint already. I may not be here tomorrow then, particularly if it impacts me. Too much, absolutely. All right, Tracy, thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get you over to Emily now. Emily, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Terrence. President Trump did speak at the World Economic Forum yesterday morning in Davos, Switzerland, laying out several policy proposals and championing America's role on the world stage, including his push for the United States to acquire Greenland and break down the costs of home ownership here at home. Here was some of his speech yesterday. Take a look.
The explosion of prosperity and conclusion and progress that built the West did not come from our tax codes. It ultimately came from our very special culture. This is the precious inheritance that America and Europe have in common. We share it. We share it, but we have to keep it strong. We have to become stronger, more successful, and more prosperous than ever. We have to defend that culture and rediscover the spirit that lifted the West from the depths of the Dark Ages to the pinnacle of human achievement.
Joining us now with reaction is Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez. Congressman, good morning to you. Appreciate you being here with us. The president convened a meeting with his new Peace Board yesterday following that speech. What is your reaction to what we saw from 47 on the world stage yesterday?
Well, I think that it was an interesting day. It started out, not too well with Greenland, but then worked out the framework of a deal, and I think that the president got exactly what he was looking for. People haven't really figured him out yet, and all you got to do is read the art of the deal. He'll ask for the moon, and then he will try to get exactly what he wants, and I think he got exactly what he wants, which is certain portions of Greenland will be U.S. territory, and we'll be able then to establish the things that we need to have there in order to protect our interests, not only American interests, but also our allies. And so, I think he got exactly what he wanted. Also on the stage with the peace, panel. It's something that I think he had already talked about before, and again, it's something that shows that the president is committed to peace, but he will use strength in order to achieve peace when it's necessary.
Yeah, and one of the interesting parts of his remarks yesterday is that he is all about peace, basically using his remarks to say, look, I'm not going to use military force to take Greenland. Here are his remarks so you can hear them for yourself, and then we'll talk on the other side.
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay, now everyone's saying, oh, good.
Yeah, Congressman, I think the entire world let out a collective sigh of relief after those remarks. Following what we heard basically yesterday and even early this morning from the president, where do you see his priorities? Is Greenland a priority in your mind, or should the focus be elsewhere?
I think the focus has to be on a lot of different places because the world is a big place. You just can't put focus on one particular place. And so Greenland, he's focused on Greenland because of the Arctic region. And people may not understand that right now the Arctic region is probably dominated by Russia. They have a lot more icebreakers, et cetera, and able to operate up there a lot better than we are. China now has declared themselves an Arctic nation, and they're starting to have a presence up there. That's why it's so necessary for us to increase our presence in the Arctic region. The president is also very much focused on the Western Hemisphere. You saw that with his action, with Venezuela, the removal of Nicolas Maduro, now looking to change Venezuela from a dictatorship, a narco-terrorist state, into a democracy that's an ally of the United States. And then the president's also, very much focused on the Middle East, with his peace deal in Gaza, Israel, and then also what's happening in Iran. And so it's a big place. You just can't have, your sights set on one place. And the president is doing a magnificent job of balancing, those interests and projecting American power where it needs to be projected in order to achieve our ultimate goals.
Davos has traditionally stood for a lot of radical environmental progressivism, as you know, Congressman. And we were discussing on the show a little earlier how the biodegradability that's been put into our plastics has caused water bottle breakdown, which means we're ingesting microparticles of plastic and getting more cancer. We know all about the cloud seeding. We're hearing all about how they're putting aluminum in our air that's causing a massive increase in things like Alzheimer's disease. Congressman, are we hearing anything about reversing some of those policies that have fallen out of radical progressive environmentalism from Davos? Are we hearing anything about reversing any of that? Are you hearing any of that on Capitol Hill?
It sounds like we may have lost his audio,
Darn.
Dr. Gina.
I was really amped up for that answer.
Likewise, I was curious as to what he was going to say. But such is technology.
Yes.
It was the leftists. They put a monkey wrench in our technology.
We've got him back.
It looks like we have him back.
Let's see if we can answer that question. Thank you, Congressman. Go ahead. Did you hear my question?
Yes, I heard your question, and I pressed the wrong button. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Go ahead. It happens.
That's technology. I didn't see what button I was pressing. Okay, but anyway, we're back to the environment, et cetera. Yesterday I had a member of the German Parliament, two members of the German Parliament here in my office, and one of the things that I told them, was that I thought that their energy policies were insane. because of their environmental policies. They're destroying Europe with their environmental policies, and they're falling right into the hands of the CCP. I said, hey, you guys are buying wind turbines and you're doing solar panels that they're being produced by China. And guess what? And what does China do to create those wind turbines and solar panels? Well, they use carbon. They use coal, electricity produced by coal in order to give you the green stuff that they don't use, and they want you to be dependent on them. For what? For really very, 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 if any, benefit to the European people. And so, do I see a reversal of that? I'm not sure that in Europe you're going to see a reversal of that, but I see a reversal here in the United States. We're an all of the above energy country. We want to be energy dominant. That means that we're going to use our fossil fuels, especially natural gas, to create and sustain that dominance. Right. And developing nations, need our energy in order to develop and to make life better for their citizens. And so Europe may not get it yet, but I think that we're getting it here in the United States.
I hope so. I hope they reverse some of these health policies that are literally killing Americans for some sort of pie-in-the-sky environmentalist idea, Emily. Thank you so much, Congressman.
Thanks, Congressman.
My pleasure.
All right, coming up, a top leader of a Mexican cartel labeled a terror group by the Trump administration is now in U.S. custody. We'll have the details for you after the break. Stay with us.
In Mogadishu, Minnesota, you might have heard this. You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you.
On streets across America, young people are homeless, abused, in danger. Covenant House is helping young people with nowhere else to turn. But the need is overwhelming. Please call or go online now with your gift of $19 a month. You'll help provide hot meals, safe shelter, medical care, and love to more than 2,000 young people who sleep at a Covenant House every night. Homeless young people are afraid and alone. Your monthly donation right now will show them they are loved and safe.
I have no words to express how Covenant House changed my life.
Call or go online now and give just $19 a month. We'll send you this comforting blanket as a reminder of the difference you're making in a young person's life. Call or go online now to safeplacetosleep.org.
This is Dr. Gina's happy place, a snowy mountain where you can put on skis and just coast on down the slopes. My happy place is inside a chalet with hot chocolate and a beignet or something like that, but that's a whole nother thing. Welcome back to American Sunrise, everyone. A leader of one of Mexico's most notorious cartels is in U.S. custody this morning. He was arraigned in Washington, D.C. on some serious federal charges. Prosecutors say Armando Gomez Nunez helped flood the United States with fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine while using machine guns and other heavy weapons to protect his operation. All of this follows reports of U.S. military aircraft landing near Mexico City. In fact, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo says that it was all part of a coordinated effort with the United States government, but didn't provide many specific details. We're now learning that Mexican authorities have extradited at least 39 high-profile criminals. This all comes as the Trump administration continues to pressure our southern neighbor to crack down on cartel-related activity. Joining me now with more is RAV correspondent Oscar El Blue Ramirez. Oscar has been covering this story on the ground and offers us some more insight. What more can you tell us, Oscar? Good morning.
Good morning, Terrence. Yes, the C-130 Hercules. It is the aircraft carrier, one of the most powerful aircrafts that it belongs to the United States of America. It landed a couple of days ago, and it raised a lot of questions in the Mexican media and in the Mexican government. What was this aircraft doing over here? The Mexican president was questioned as the next day in her morning conference, and she completely lied to the Mexican public, said that it was a cooperation, but she didn't say specifically what it's about. On the next day, we get that 39, one of the most high-impact criminals, were extracted, and they were going to be delivered into the United States of America. With this, you have almost 90 extracted high-profile criminals that they have been delivered to the United States of America. Nobody in history has done this. The Trump administration, it is not only creating peace with their south neighbor, but also in Central America and South America, cleaning up Venezuela, extracting Nicolás Maduro, designating Cartel de los Soles as a terrorist organization, cracking down a Clan del Golfo, that it was the #1 terrorist organization, providing the enormous trafficking of human beings into the United States of America, and now extracting criminal in Mexico to the United States. And this cooperation that basically, Terrence, I will tell you, I got this term, peace through strength, until I understood what it is. Now I am understanding, and Mexican people are understanding this term, peace to strength. You have to pressure the Mexican government to accomplish something that is historic, that is cleaning up your neighbor, pressuring your neighbor to do the dirty job, and cooperating so they can clean up this mess that is full with corruption in the Mexican government.
Oscar, I hear you loud and clear that there's this pressure campaign against the Mexican government. But even if we break this down to the grassroots, it seems to me that there's a major issue within the Mexican government in terms of not being able to prosecute its own criminals. Yes, these criminals are committing crimes, or at least allegedly committing crimes here in the United States, but those crimes initiate in Mexico. So why aren't they being tried in Mexico?
That's one of the things that the Trump administration is doing. It is pressuring the Mexican government to expose these dirty politicians. They have exposed more than 50. Nowhere in history they have ever done that. The first time that the White House has released a letter saying that the Mexican government, it is in cahoots with the cartel in this term of the Trump administration. So first they have to go to the head of the snake. They have to go to these dirty politicians. And that is what the Trump administration has been doing. That is why Claudia Sheinbaum, it is being so accessible with the Trump administration, knowing that this administration knows a lot. They have a lot of intel. They have infiltrated agents in parts like Culiacan and parts like Michoacan and Guerrero, that they have been studying the cartel activity, and also who is in cahoots in the 3 levels of power that they have corruptly being bought by the organized crime and the cartel. It is a thing of time. The Trump administration, it is doing this like a chess game. They are, basically like a domino effect, piece by piece. They're taking it down. And, the Mexican government doesn't have no other option but to cooperate.
Oscar El Blue Ramirez reporting for us this morning. Always good to see you, my friend. Please stay safe.
Thank you so much, Terrence. It's always an honor.
Always a pleasure. Coming up here on American Sunrise, President Trump says he is bringing back mental institutions, arguing that it's the only way to get people off the streets and restore public safety. We'll bring you the details in a moment.
The poverty is unimaginable. There are people who are struggling.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galina. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help Rush, a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
In Mogadishu, Minnesota, you might have heard there's quite a load of money missing.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It is set to ring here in about 7 minutes, and we, of course, will take you there live. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at how the markets are looking in pre-market trading. I can tell you that the Dow, S&P 500 are all in the green right now, and it looks like the NASDAQ is also up. There you have our board. So far, so good when it comes to the markets. The rest of the board is kind of a mixed bag. But again, we'll keep you updated and take you to New York for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange in short order. First, though, let's get you over to Dr. Gina. Dr. G, good morning.
Good morning. All right, Terrence. President Trump says he has signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and asylums, arguing that shutting them down is a major reason so many people are living on the streets. President pointed to his own childhood in New York and blamed Democrat-led states for closing facilities and releasing patients into society, a move he says has fueled homelessness from California to the East Coast. Joining me now with more to discuss on this is the host of Breaking Point. Couldn't be a more properly entitled name for what we're talking about, David Zier. David, here's the thing. I've got a lot of thoughts on this because I was there. I actually served on the board for a company called Life Skills Foundation, which was a private entity that was very involved in the deinstitutionalization. I worked in many mental institutions, including Biggs, which is an institution for the criminally mentally insane. There are a couple of things I think about this, and I want to get your thoughts. Number one, I think President Trump is right, mostly. Number two, I don't think these should be state-run. State-run institutions are a disaster. I think these should be privately run. The private sector does a much better job on anything like this, including prisons and other things. It needs to be regulated by the state. It doesn't need to be operated by the state. Number three, we need to very carefully, and I want to talk to President Trump about this, distinguish the mentally disabled from the mentally insane. Not all people who are mentally disabled, like my son Samuel, are mentally insane at all. In fact, the numbers are actually that they are healthier, probably because they don't have to deal with all the junk you have to deal with when you know all the things that you know, when you have the IQ to ask the proper questions. David Zier, I'm just going to turn you loose. What do you think about all this?
Well, I spoke to Allison yesterday. Good morning, Dr. Gina. We're on the ground in North Carolina here. I spoke to Allison. I passed that Creedmoor mental facility that Trump was talking about with the bars, this gigantic facility, right? And Trump back in September said we need to open insane asylums in our major cities to protect the population from rampant mental illness on the streets, and has been compounded by long-term drug use and has led to an epidemic of homelessness and the quality of life for our city's residents. And his new executive order will pursue just that. I think that's the focus of this. And, Trump said he hates to do it, but he wants to protect the population. The deinstitutionalization of our mental institutions state-run, started in the 1950s under, and then again with JFK's Community Mental Health Centers Act in the 1960s, and it continued through the 90s, where these large facilities were closed down, and it went back to community-based solutions. So maybe it has to be somewhere in the middle here, because it clearly hasn't worked. We got to open some back up here. And last week, the Trump administration reversed course on $2 billion in cuts to these community organizations because there was an outcry from like tribal organizations and these other groups. They restored the funding temporarily. But this is a really serious issue. Dr. Gina, I wanted to digress a little bit, though. You know, the angry white liberal woman here throwing drinks in your face because you have a RAV jacket logo, a logo on your jacket, and shouting you down at a protest and sing-song, blowing whistles, shrill screams to prevent you from engaging in intelligent dialogue. I figured it's just their way of flirting at first. But, you know, I think Trump should send some teams of white jackets along with the ICE members to round up some of these women who used to be normal and now they're feral. But, you know, I am joking, but there is a serious mental health crisis going in the country. Maybe it's a combination of that. And like you said, public-private partnerships may be the answer.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that there were a lot of mistakes made. It's just based on ignorance probably in the 50s and 60s. Also, there's a big danger when you give somebody who has a thirst. It could be a travel assistant on an airplane. It could be a lot of things. But when you give someone a badge who has a thirst for power but doesn't have the intellect to handle the power once they get it, this is dangerous in mental institutions. But when you don't distinguish, David Zier, between mentally disabled and mentally insane, you really open a whole can of worms that we don't want to revisit from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Those mental institutions, a lot of them were really bad news. So I think President Trump, I think he really is onto something. We need to get people off the street, right? But I don't know that the insane asylum that is federally run is a necessarily great idea right now.
No, and listen, there's 30, 40 years of drug use, illicit drug use, combined with antipsychotics and stuff that have taken a toll. And you've got zombies walking around the cities and stuff. And it may be leading to, you know, what we're seeing on the streets, especially during some of these protests, people are unhinged as well. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975, you know, made an example of the failures of those big institutions.
Yeah, and people aren't going to forget that. So we need to have this conversation. It's very important. I want to help any way I can. David Zier, thank you so much for being with us. Got to head back to Terrence in Denver for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored, of course, by
the Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We're preparing for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. You hear the applause there. You're going to hear the bell momentarily. And then we'll get an idea of how the markets are shaping up on this Thursday of trading. FitGo, it looks like, is at the podium. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The markets are now officially open, which means trading is underway. Get those first buys and sells in. Here's how the markets are looking right now. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all in the green at the moment. The bottom half of our screen, though, in the red. Some of those precious metals and gold not looking so hot at the moment. But again, we'll keep you updated throughout the day and let you know how things ultimately shape up. In the meantime, a new year means that new financial goals are in place, like making sure that your savings are secure and diversified. So will this be the year that you finally listen to us here at RAV and talk to someone over at the Birch Gold Group? They're really good people, and we appreciate their educational approach and their understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces out there pushing the dollar lower and gold higher. And that's why the Birch Gold Group believes that every American should own physical gold. Until January 30th, if you're a first-time buyer of gold, the Birch Gold Group is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. In order to claim eligibility and start the process, text the word America to the number 989898. The Birch Gold Group can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10K when you buy by January 30th. Text the word America to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, text America to the number 989898. Still to come here on American Sunrise, members of Congress signal strong support for Venezuela's opposition leader Maria Machado after a closed-door meeting on Capitol Hill. However, President Trump is holding back his endorsement at this point. We'll break it all down for you when we come back. First, though, a quick note. Real America's Voice Music is launching and releasing a new song tonight at midnight called The Somali Waltz. It's now available for pre-download on iTunes, and here's a little preview of what you can expect.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and hit pre-save right now.
Dancing to the Somali waltz, and coming soon to a state near you. New name same tune, the Somali waltz. You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you.
On streets across America, young people are homeless, abused, in danger. Covenant House is helping young people with nowhere else to turn, but the need is overwhelming. Please call or go online now with your gift of $19 a month. You'll help provide hot meals, safe shelter, medical care, and love to more than 2,000 young people who sleep at a Covenant House every night. Homeless young people are afraid and alone. Your monthly donation right now will show them they are loved and safe.
I have no words to express how Covenant House changed my life.
Call or go online now and give just $19 a month. We'll send you this comforting blanket as a reminder of the difference you're making in a young person's life.
I will rescue you.
Call or go online now to safeplacetosleep.org.
All right, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks for joining us today. We invite you to hop on in our conversation on Getter, Rumble, YouTube, and our ambassador cited. It's time now to take the political pulse of America. Here's the beat today. Members of Congress rallying around Venezuela's opposition leader after a standing room only meeting on Capitol Hill. Maria Corina Machado received strong praise from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, with Republicans calling her the right leader to move Venezuela toward democracy and free, fair elections. The show of support comes even as President Donald Trump has declined to back Machado as Venezuela's next leader, shifting his administration's focus toward oil stability and working with the country's interim government instead. Lawmakers say the stakes couldn't be higher, with growing division over who should lead that transition and how fast elections can realistically happen. Joining us now with the analysis is the host of America's Voice Live and the Steve Gruber Show. That would be Steve Gruber. President Trump has yet to lend his support for Machado following the ousting of dictator Nicolas Maduro. Steve Gruber, why do you think this is? What do you think happens next? And Could this really mean long-term stability for Venezuela?
Well, you got to take measured steps, careful steps. Take your time. There's no need to rush here. Look, we already plucked Maduro out of there. That creates a vacuum in and of itself. What you don't want in Venezuela is a vacuum of power, which means the vice president currently in charge, and she's had some conversations with President Trump. Stability is incredibly important right now. You can't just take out the whole government and expect that there's not a power vacuum. Power vacuums create huge problems. It's historically true. You can look at one country after another. When you take off the head of the snake, you can create things that are worse than what you had before. So I'm going to defer to Donald Trump and his commitment here. And Machado, yes, very well accepted by members of Congress. They don't live in Venezuela, all right? Many of them don't understand Venezuela. Let the situation move slowly with a plan, but don't take any jumps toward, hey, we're going to replace this person with that person. We're not in the job of nation building, right? Remember that? We're in the job of creating stability. I think we need to keep a stable, level head and a level hand on this country. And when you get to real elections, not the one that Maduro stole, put Machado, that is, on the ballot. That would be my guess as to what could possibly happen. But just demanding that one person come out, another person go in, I think that creates instability. It creates a vacuum of power. And then you've got all the gangs, the drug cartels, the members of ISIS, China, Russia, Iran, Cuba, all those actors would be vying for control of whoever becomes the president of that country. So slow, measured steps. Take your time. Make good decisions. Nothing rash. That's my take.
Yeah. Steve, do want to turn now to NATO. Ahead of President Trump's speech at the World Economic Forum yesterday, the NATO chief credited President Trump for encouraging other member nations to increase their defense spending. This comes as critics say the president is straining relations with the alliance. What's your take on that?
I loved it. Mark Rutte. Well done. Look, Mark Rutte gets it. Yeah, you got it. He gets it. He understands not only the importance of keeping the NATO alliance together, he understands the critical importance of Greenland. You know, I feel like I should get on social media with some of these dolts and show them a globe. Here's a globe. Look, here's Greenland. This is why it's important. These American imperialism. Would you stop it? Denmark fell to the Nazis in like 5 minutes in World War II. As a result, we had the Greenland Defense Pact. It was in place for many years. Then we turned control back over to Denmark. Does anybody in this country really believe that Denmark can protect the United States' critical interests or our national interests or our national security? No, of course not. And to be frank, I'm not convinced that NATO could defend America either if we were attacked by China or Russia or anyone else for that matter. NATO has to be reconstructed, reconsidered. New documents have to be drawn. It's not 1946 anymore. Let's talk about how we put together an alliance that actually means something and means something for America. There is not a credible military on the European continent except maybe France. It's not Germany. It's not the UK. It sure to hell is not Denmark. All right, let me be just that blunt. So when it comes to defending America, it's America first. And President Trump was leaving Davos with a deal in principle in hand, he says. I believe him. People say, well, what are the details? I can't give you the details yet. People always want the details. I want to know exactly what's in there. It's a negotiation. What will it mean? It'll mean operational control, at least over some portions of Greenland, so we can have military bases, so we can control the movement of Russian and Chinese assets. No question about it. Mark Rutte gets it. Donald Trump gets it. And NATO is going to get it one way or the other.
Steve Gruber, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Steve.
All right, changing gears now from politics to looking our best with a product called Purience. Today's interview is a must-see for anybody who feels like their skin complexion is worse for the wear after summer. As you probably know, too much fun can take a toll on your skin, leading to photo damage, hyperpigmentation, and premature aging, even with proper sunscreen use. Fortunately, today's special guest can help you rejuvenate your complexion and reclaim a gorgeous glow. Her name is Kristen Malia. She is a renowned beauty journalist. She has traveled the world to help find and source the best skincare products. She has worked with Hollywood A-listers, makeup artists, and top thought leaders in the industry. So if there's anyone who has their finger on the pulse of the latest breakthrough in skincare and what's working, it's her. Kristen, welcome to the show. Good to have you. Kristen, we hear so much. We hear about how the rates of skin cancer have actually gone through the roof since people started using sunblock, for example. So what sets Purience apart?
So Purience is an organic, all natural skincare brand. Okay. They essentially have none of the bad ingredients that will help promote anything other than health to the skin. Right. So they've been getting so much praise in, big publications like Elle and LA Weekly. And to date, they've helped more than 60,000 women fall in love with their complexion again. And as I was saying, Purience delivers clean, organic beauty, nothing damaging. So there is no harsh preservatives or chemicals or anything like that in that, which I completely love.
And attaining that organic label is no joke. That you have to be so serious, and it's very, very hard to get. I know a lot of skincare company owners who say that's just almost an impossible label to get, but Purience did.
Purience did. They put the money behind the science, right? And so they went and, traveled the earth to essentially find the best organic ingredients, which, to your point, I mean, you have to have a ton of certifications to actually put that label on your product. Their lineup is solid. One of the, I guess, my favorite products is the Cellular Restore Serum, which is actually an organic alternative to retinol. In a small focus group, like 93% of women saw fewer wrinkles in just 3 weeks after using the Cellular Restore Serum. So it has similar results as retinol, but without the skin irritation and redness. And then, of course, we all want hydration. There's the Cellular Hydration Serum, which contains tremella mushrooms, so all natural ingredients. Tremella penetrates the skin deeper than hyaluronic acid, so it is an amazing moisturizer. And then we've got the Lift and Glow Organic Eye Cream. If you want to reduce the appearance of those dark spots, under your eyes and restore a radiant complexion, you will love Lift and Glow. And then, like what you were talking about earlier, that hyperpigmentation, Even Glow is great for that. Even Glow has Kakadu Plum. Now, the Kakadu Plum has 100 times more concentrated vitamin C than oranges. So it is great for reducing hyperpigmentation and dark spots. And again, all of this is done naturally with organic skincare.
Yeah, the research is coming out just at a breakneck pace now. We're learning all the time that some of the things we thought were great were maybe too chemically based, and maybe we could go with something more organic that does penetrate more deeply. That's really been the focus of what you all are doing at Purience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that performs, right? So if you have something organic that's good for you, but it doesn't get you the results that you want, it's kind of pointless. So with Purience, you get the best of both worlds. You get that research, the science, the money, to make certain that everything lives up to their high standards. So I'm really proud to be working with them. And I think it's something that everyone should at least try. I mean, we've got a great code for you guys. Anybody watching can get 35% off all Purience products for a limited time. Just go to Purience.com and enter the code SUNRISE when you check out. Now, Purience does stand behind all their products. So there is a 365-day money-back guarantee. That's an industry-leading year-long money-back guarantee.
Goodness.
So you have nothing to lose. Maybe
Absolutely nothing to lose. 35% off plus a year-long guarantee. I've never even heard of that. That's
I know, right?
That's astonishing.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you should
Kristen.
try it if you haven't already, and I'm telling you, you'll love it. We'll get you some if you don't already have some.
I would love to try it. It sounds fantastic. I love the ideas. I love the innovation and the science that backs up what you're doing. And not even to mention, you got to have a lot of confidence to stand behind something 365 days. So, Kristen, looking forward to learning more about this amazingly innovative company. So I want to say to our audience, look, if you want to give Purience Skincare a try, you know what to do. Head over to Purience.com, Pureance, Purience.com. Enter coupon SUNRISE at checkout. Again, that's SUNRISE at checkout. That will save you 35% on your order, and you can return it for the whole entire year. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Kristen. Still to come on American Sunrise, Kamala Harris promised she wouldn't go quietly, but now Democrats say she's all but disappeared, pulled up in an $8 million Malibu mansion with taxpayer-funded security. We're going to have that full story for you just after the break.
Play your cards right. You could be governor. And if you need a green card, marry your brother.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. For 50 years, I've watched Washington betray the American people with dishonest money. Nixon's closure of the gold window made endless debt and war inevitable. Today, our middle class, our currency, and our economy are dying in real time. In my new book, Dispatches to Future Generations, I reveal how we got here, plus the solution, gold. And that's why I'm partnering with Birch Gold Group to give you a free copy of my book along with their free info kit on gold. Click below to get both right now. Inside the info kit, you'll learn how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold. So click below to claim your free copy of my Dispatches to Future Generations and Birch Gold's info kit today.
America's in a fight for her soul. Our freedoms are under attack. Our values are being torn down. And the same corrupt elites who built this mess think they can silence us. The patriots who still believe in this country. Not a chance. Here at Real America's Voice, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, a movement that says we will not be silenced.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
The voice of millions of patriots who refuse to kneel to tyranny. This is the movement of fighters, men and women who still believe in God, family, and the American dream. The conservative alternative to AARP.
Real rights, they come from God.
If you're ready to stand up and join the fight, go to amac.us/RAV right now. That's amac.us/RAV, because this isn't just about politics. It's about saving America. Faith, freedom, America first. AMAC and Real America's Voice, united for the Republic.
Let's spill some tea.
Welcome back. Let's Spill Some Tea is sponsored by Artillery Tea Company, the veteran-owned patriotic tea brand delivering premium whole leaf tea in biodegradable sachets that brew twice as strong. Patriots, if you love great tea on your terms, check out the Patriots Brew Club for automatic shipments that you control. You can cancel or swap flavors anytime with no commitments. You'll also get free shipping on every order, tiered discounts up to 20% off, and free milestone rewards along the way. Brew strong, stay patriotic, and head to artillerytco.com right now and click Join the Patriots Brew Club to get started. It is time now to spill some tea, and in the cup today, a very out-of-touch Kamala Harris. After vowing she would not go quietly into the night following her 2024 election loss to President Trump, Harris has largely disappeared entirely from public life, retreating to an $8 million oceanfront home in Malibu, while taxpayers continue to foot the bill for her security. Even some Democrats now say her absence feels calculated, elitist, and out of touch, especially as Los Angeles struggles with crime, wildfires, and budget pressures. Critics point to a carefully curated post-political rebrand, Hollywood agencies, a personal office website, and limited appearances, all while local police resources are diverted to protect a failed presidential candidate who can afford her own private security. For more, let's bring in Terrence and Dr. Gina. Gina, every time I kind of forgot about Kamala Harris. I think one of you guys said that earlier in the show today, because she's just been gone from public life for so long. But every time I see her, I think, man, she's just so embarrassing.
Yeah, but, you know, now she has an $8 million mansion in the hills, and she's unburdened, Terrence, by what has been.
I wonder if her Venn diagram showed that this was going to be her post-public life, public life. You know, the reality is, I think most Americans, even Democrats, are happy that she's gone, that she's out of public life. She wasn't a very good candidate. And quite honestly, people were talking about her potentially running for presidency again. I don't see that necessarily happening. I don't think she would be a good candidate. And Democrats want to win. We've said that they don't necessarily care about policies. They simply want to win. And she probably wouldn't be the best candidate to make that happen. So let her stay out of sight and out of mind. Okay.
Yeah, but who is? Who have they got? I mean, honestly, and I don't think there's I don't think there's 1% of the Dem Party that actually cares about anything ethical. I don't think they're concerned about her having an $8 million mansion, even if she got it all through corrupt means. I don't think they care. Look at the Clintons. Look at every single Democrat that has ever served, right, in office. They come in broke, they go out billionaires. I mean, you see it all the time in the Democrat Party. And I'm not going to say Republicans are immune. I don't want to pretend like they are, insider trading and all the rest. But I am saying the Democrats do it almost without exception. And the Democrat rank and file do not seem to care. They do not seem to care, Emily.
No, they really don't, because, Terrence, I'm glad you brought up the Venn diagrams. In the middle of that Venn diagram is this $8 million mansion. No matter if she won the election or if she lost the election, she still has the house. Gina, it's so true. So many politicians go into Washington, D.C. With nothing and then come out with a whole lot. Bernie Sanders, another example of this. I think we're going to continue to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would just argue, guys, if I could make the last point, that this is the reason so many Americans don't trust politicians, be they Democrat or Republican, because so many of us have seen politicians and lawmakers on either side of the aisle enrich themselves on the back of information that many of us suspect has come from insider information that they have gotten that the rest of Americans don't. And so that's why so many people don't.
Not just insider information. I think the thing that's slightly more corrupt about the Democrats, if that's possible, is payoffs and actual, dark money that goes around back channel and gets in their pockets. So you're right.
All right. Well, still to come on American Sunrise, a new song takes aim at Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and it releases tonight at midnight. We'll show you how you can pre-order the release after the break. Stay with us.
Don't kibble your dog.
Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff.
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means it's ultra-processed at extremely high temperatures that destroy the nutrients in the food. But at Dr. Marty, we gently freeze-dried premium meats, fruits, and vegetables, locking in their nutrients.
Never kibbled.
You got it, kid, and they're gonna love it.
Joining us is Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company with advice for dealing with seasonal colds and flu. Doctor?
Cold and flu season is here, and every year you or a loved one gets sick. Your doctor can't see you. Waiting in a crowded urgent care is brutal. This is a particularly bad cold and flu season, and it's why doctors suggest every family needs an emergency medical kit. Your medical emergency kit is filled with essential prescriptions. It includes antibiotics like generic Z-Pak to get well faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs, and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, doctor.
President Trump delivered on his promises, but we can't get complacent. None of our America First agenda will be secure until we build the Red Wall. Turning Point PAC is building the Red Wall in Arizona, Nevada, and New Hampshire, key battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. We're funding door knockers who will win the next elections in 2026, 2028, and beyond. Today, we're asking for your immediate support. Donate at tprav.com or scan the QR code now to fund our field operations.
All right, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks so much for being with us today. Time now for the one to watch. Now, something we're all keeping our eye on, a hilarious new tune by artist Natasha Owens. Take a look.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and hit pre-save right now.
Dancing to the Somali waltz, and coming soon to a state near you. New name same tune, the Somali waltz.
And can I just say, I am so proud of RAV founders Rob and Parker Sig for doing what they've done and formulating this RAM, this new music production company. It's so exciting, the things they're doing. The Somali Waltz releases tonight at midnight. You can scan the QR code to pre-save your order on iTunes. And guys, this helps expand this kind of thing, this kind of music that needs to be put out there. It's a fun song. Natasha Owens is a superstar. What do you think, Emily?
I think it's great. Yeah, I was listening to some of the lyrics as we were playing that throughout the show, and I couldn't help but laugh at some of them. It was like so true, and I think it's great that Real America's Music is putting out tracks like this. Definitely shaking up the music charts there, Terrence.
No, absolutely. I chuckled at a number of the lyrics. It's pretty funny, definitely a fun thing to download, and we're encouraging all people to do it. If I'm honest, it reminds me kind of one of those parody songs from Weird Al Yankovic, if you guys remember him back in the day. It reminds me somewhat of a parody song that he might write or that he might have performed.
Yeah, well, it's just a great initiative on the part of RAV to use what they've built to formulate a platform that will project patriotic music out into the music ethos and could really change. When we talk about not the parallel economy, the replacement economy, RAV is taking the lead on that by creating this new RAM partnership that is just going to be so effective at that. So we're so proud of it. And again, just want to thank our ownership for that, because they don't have to take all these initiatives, but they do. These are all risks. And I appreciate working for a company that does things like this. All right, you guys, War Room up next. Hug your children, love God. Tomorrow's Freedom Friday, tomorrow's Puppy Friday. We'll be having some fun on the show. You don't want to miss it. And David Brody will be back. War Room is up. I think he will, right? Am I right about that? I don't know.
Yeah, he'll be back.
I think so.
I believe you're right.
War Room is up next. Go boldly now. Live the truth, everybody. See you tomorrow.